Well, happy Columbus Day. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Happy, happy. I don't know. Happy day. Oh, happy day, right? Happy day. It doesn't matter to me what you want to call it. Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, whatever. That's not an argument I really care to get into. But what I would like to talk about right here is Governor of Mississippi, Tate Reeves. I was just scrolling Facebook and I came across this, and all I could do is just kind of lower my head a little bit and shake it like this and go, my. Tate Reeves. Today we honor the brave men who discovered and settled our nation, namely Christopher Columbus. This is painful to read. This is the guy who sits high atop the executive branch of the government of the state of Mississippi. My homeland, believe it or not. I'm a proud Alabamian, but I did immigrate over from Mississippi, where most of my family still lives today. His courageous voyage to the New World began a new era of history. And without him and his peers, we would not have the society we all enjoy. I read this and I thought, how in the world? And I'm not even talking about, you read through the comments on his post and you read a whole bunch of people who aren't very, very much, probably not even as educated about the historical aspect of this as Tate Reeves is. There are people on there talking about Christopher Columbus didn't steal anything, didn't discover anything. There were already people here. We can get very pedantic with it if we want to. For my fellow rednecks who aren't familiar with that parlance, let's just say we could get really nitpicking with it if we wanted to. And we could talk about, but from a European perspective, he discovered it. And then others could say, well, no, the Vikings had already been here. And then back and forth and back and forth. I really don't care to get into the pedantry, the nitpickiness of it all. This is my thing. I said, how in the world did he come up with any of this, what he just said here? Because none of it's true. None of it's true. I don't know how he could. So I hopped over and I Google-ated him. Does Tate Reeves have a college degree? Now, knowing the information that he's got messed up here does not require a college degree, but I just wanted to see what academic direction he went in. And as it turns out, he does have a bachelor's degree from Millsaps in economics. And what I read also said that he played basketball there at Millsaps. So he's an athlete who studied number crunching and statistic crunching and that sort of stuff. Explains a lot. Explains a lot that he's not a student of history, because Christopher Columbus did not discover and settle our nation. Not even close. I mean, Christopher Columbus was an Italian. I saw somebody comment over there on this original post on Tate Reeves' Facebook page. Somebody wanted to bring in the deportations, and they said, well, it's funny that you'd be celebrating someone who spoke Spanish. Did Christopher Columbus speak Spanish? Well, I don't know. You had to communicate with the monarchs over there some kind of way. But he was Italian. Of course, Italian and Spanish are cousins to one another as far as the language goes. But Christopher Columbus was not Spanish. So he was Italian. He was one of them Italians and everything. But he did not discover or settle our nation. Christopher Columbus was a Catholic. He was under the charge of the Spaniards, Isabella, and it's late and I'm old, but okay. Ferdinand, yes. Why, thank you, darling. That's what I keep you around here for. So he was like the hired hand for Isabella and Ferdinand, the Spanish monarchs. And he ran into somewhere around El Salvador, one of the islands off the coast there, right there. He said, we found the East Indies rather, which he had not. So he was confused about that. But he did not discover. I mean, who does Tate Reeves think his great nation what does he think his great nation is? He is the governor of Mississippi, which is a state in the United States of America. The United States of America was discovered, so to speak, in its state, politically speaking, by the Pilgrims. And I mean, even before the Pilgrims made a successful colony, there were other colonies that were started and failed over here who were English, not Spanish, not Italian. I mean, this is a basic history. Christopher Columbus, he did sail looking for a water route going westward towards the East Indies and to reach India to get their spices and their trade routes and that sort of stuff. And he ran into a big pile of dirt between the two called North and South America. So in that regard, he did manage to find the New World. That doesn't mean that he discovered and settled the United States of America. So I don't know what this dude's talking about, where he gets that from. This is basic, like middle school, maybe high school history. Beyond that, he said his courageous voyage to the New World began a new era of history. It's kind of true. And without him and his peers, we would not have the society we all enjoy. Make no mistake about it. The society that we enjoy today in 2025, 21st century United States of America is a product of Greco-Roman philosophy that was protected by the Catholic Church during the medieval ages, came through the Renaissance, the dawn of the Age of Enlightenment, but the exploration of our great nation and let's see, without him and his peers, we would not have the society. Our society that we enjoy in the United States is not because of Christopher Columbus, who was a monarchist, and he was also a Catholic. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. No. Our society is the product of that philosophies that came from the Romans through the church and then into the Protestants. You see, yeah. The Protestants are the people that we can thank for the society that we all enjoy in the United States of America and in the West as a whole. Not the Catholic Church, and that's a big difference. I am not one of these Protestants that go around bashing Catholics. I don't even really consider myself, if you look at the pure form of the word, I don't even think of myself as a Protestant. Okay? But the Catholics did not found our great nation. The Catholics founded Mexico and Guatemala and all those Spanish colonies down there. The Catholics also founded maybe the state of Louisiana, French colonies like that. The English colonies, us, the colonies who became the United States of America, Uncle Sam was probably Baptist or Presbyterian or Lutheran. It may have been one of them good old Methodists, as my mama would have called them. But Uncle Sam is not a Catholic. And this is not me just trying to beat up on the papists. Hey, I love the Catholic Church. If it weren't for just a few theological differences that I had, I would convert to Catholicism today. No hate, no ill will, no angst toward Catholicism at all. But there is a decided difference when it comes to the philosophies and the mindset of the Catholic churches during this era in history especially, and the Protestant churches. So Christopher Columbus, sure, he ran into, discovered, whatever, North and South America, the New World. But him and his peers, they didn't have a whole bunch of nothing to do with giving us the society we all enjoy. Our society was birthed out of some decidedly different political philosophies that came out of Protestantism. And then our Constitution, especially when it comes to things like the Bill of Rights, those things are in place because of those good old Scotch-Irish, like my ancestors, who were Presbyterian to begin with, and then they merged into the Baptist and even the Methodist churches. The independent drive of the Scots, the Irish, and then my people, the Scotch-Irish, who said things like, you stay on your hill, I'll stay on mine. That's a big reason that we have a republic and not a democracy. If you don't like the way our state runs it, you're going over there to your state. That's straight out of the Scotch-Irish, the right to keep and bear arms. The Scotch-Irish fought for that. Things like those sorts of things. The don't tread on me type things came from the Scotch-Irish. It did not come from the Catholics, and it did not come from the Italians or the Spanish or people that were within that branch of Christianity. They didn't do it. So I don't know where Tate Reeves was at. Maybe he was cutting class that day, and maybe he was working on his jump shot or something like that. But Christopher Columbus did not discover or settle, definitely didn't settle our nation. And he and his peers, the Spanish conquistadors, were more Christopher Columbus, his peers. Not the United States, not Protestant, Christian, Scotch-Irish, United States. They're the ones that gave us the society we all enjoy. So somebody needs to take Governor Reeves back to class and give him some remediary history classes. But I mean, he's the governor of Mississippi, and I'm dang.